Oquendo, Oquendo, Oquendo.
And we are back at the OPP, the Oquendo Perspective. First and foremost, I would like to thank my Lord Jesus Christ and Savior for this opportunity. Without him, none of this would be possible. All power, honor, and glory belongs to him. And this is why I'm able to do what I do. So today we're going to start off with some announcements real quick. So next in July, so I'm giving you guys got about 10 months to prepare yourselves to do what you got to do to make it to the 2025 Oquendo family reunion. We would like everybody to attend. Yeah, so and we're also gonna have guest people visiting. We're gonna have Fred Oquendo, ex heavyweight champion of the world. He really wants to get to know the fam a little better, so let's make him feel welcome. I also through this podcast, I've been receiving a lot of messages from other Oquendos around the nation, around the world, wanting more information about, saying gathering together with us. So, so my brother Freddie, he's gonna send out like a family text or email, whatever it may be, with an example of what we kind of want. Obviously, this is gonna be for the family reunion. It won't be on here. But and then he's gonna just give his name and who his grandfather was and his father, our father, our parents, and just so other people around the world can kind of like get an idea of who is what. Because like Camilo, which is my grandfather, Camilo, we're all pretty close knit family. We know each other well, but I'm getting messages from like his brothers and sisters, offspring. So we're trying to gather all of us Oquendo, all under one roof, one place, and then let's get to know each other, and hey, let's do what we do, and then, hey, let's gather, get closer, saying hey, we gotta stay close. We only have each other, so let's try to make that happen when he sends out that message. Also, next summer, the Oquendo Perspective is partnering up with other organizations around the area, and we're gonna have continuous events, for the public to gather with us and stuff. So we'll keep you posted on those events, and we would love to see everybody there. Everybody's welcome, and we're gonna do what we do, what I'm saying? And hey, like I said, all power, honor, and glory belongs to the Father, and it's because of him that all this is happening. All right, so in today's episode, so I've been receiving messages, saying of people just asking me about what do I think about the upcoming election, and then maybe that I should like say something about it. So really, all I really got to say is, hey, it's your constitutional right, saying to go register, go vote. Do your homework, do your due diligence, do what you gotta do to make your best pick possible. You know what? And let's respect each other's picks. Not everybody's the same. Everybody's different. I feel like these elections are like bringing a lot of division between, not even just in the country, but even between families. And it's like there's a lot of confusion and division going on. And and what's really happening is we're just getting further apart, and instead of caring and like and trying to understand the other person, hey, we have to be able to agree to disagree. No, that what happens is people get mad, families separate, and it's like that's not the way it's supposed to be. I'm talking about we're supposed to, try to respect each other, love each other, and understand that people come from different backgrounds. So it's not that someone's better or somebody's worse. Worse is just people are different and they have different beliefs and different understandings. So what I say is, hey, go register to vote. Go make your vote. You know what I'm saying, and let your voice be heard that way, and not allow it to divide you guys. Basically, so just do your work, make your best decision. You have a right to go vote in private. Hey, if you saying that I'm gonna choose this person, I'm gonna choose that person's gonna cause issues anywhere where you're gonna be at. Hey, just hey, you have the right to keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself, and avoid all that uh that division, because that's not helping none of us whatsoever. So that's what I think about that. But and so we're gonna talk about a couple of hot topics that are going on right now. And one of the topics that was going on right now is, I'm not sure if but I mean, here in Illinois, we hear about it, but you might not hear about it if you're outside of Illinois. It's like right now there is a lot of division and a lot of confusion, in Chicago. So I want you guys to understand that there is the enemy, which is Satan. He's the one that he invented confusion, division. That's how he works. That's his tactics. He's been doing that for a very long time. Like right now, he's using it with this elections. But prior to that, hey, he got into the family, 60s and 70s. He got in between the nuclear family and divided them. And prior to that, he was dividing. Hey, like, look at now, like, man. Men and women are just so divisive right now from each other. Um, it's like this is what he does. And since the beginning of time, he's been dividing. That's when he created like different beliefs and different religions. All that has to do with dividing and conquer, and that's how he's been able to control the air. And the Bible says, we're not battling against flesh and blood. We're battling you know against the air. What I'm saying, and just like spirits and what's the word I'm looking for right now? I can't get it, but we're battling against things that we don't see. We don't see, and since we don't see them, we don't see the fact that what's happening to us, and basically what's happening is we're just growing apart, growing further and further apart. I mean, people don't even like to talk anymore. They just they don't care about nobody else's you know whatever. They feel like everybody should think like they think, but that's not the way the world works. Everybody has their own right to think to what they think, and to be able to express yourselves. That's one of the things that here in the US, when this nation first started. We came over here because it was freedom of religion, freedom of speech. You had much more freedoms, and that's why in the beginning, what I'm saying, everything was under God, and everything was working out. But little by little, he's been able to creep in and separate every aspect of everything that's been going on. With his agendas. Whether it be and he does it through movies. He does it through the TV, through the radio. These are his tactics. That's what he does. He comes here to divide. So what's going on here in Chicago is one of the big things going on here in Chicago is that right now there is an uprising. There's an uprising in violence because we have migrants that have come in the Chicago area, and they've come in and they settled, but and now we got like the gangs and stuff, gangs in Chicago and other organizations who are disliking the fact that they're around, so they're just like fighting, like physically they're sitting there fighting each other. You got migrants, and then you got these gangs, you got organizations, all that it all goes back to division. Division, they want us to be divided. Because if we're united, we're strong. But if you're divided, it's easy to, saying to, to break something, to break like say a country down, it's easier to break it from within than to overpower it. If you can get the people within the country or within the area to fight themselves, it makes it easier for anybody else to come and conquer us, because we're fighting each other. Hey, that's not the way it was supposed to be, and that's what's happening now. I'm saying there's so much hate out there, and so much, like, just pointing the finger and this is that and that is this. Hey, all I can say is, what? Hey, what we need to do, we need to like gather and try to understand each other. Hey, love is much better than hate. Hey, I understand it's hard to love something that you don't agree with, and I'm not saying you have to love it wholeheartedly, but just understand that, hey, that came from somewhere, and they're a person too. Just because you guys disagree doesn't mean you guys got to hate each other, and no, just sit down and talk, and let's just agree to disagree about the decisions that are being made, and these decisions are being made by by the elites. They're like the puppet masters, and we're here, thinking, we're doing our due diligences. No, they're playing us, and we're falling into that game. So we got to unite, and gather and become strong. I'm talking about gather and get together, because if we keep going the way we're going, man, what I'm saying? I mean, just around the world, that people are already talking about World War III possibly happening here, possibly happening there. But even here in the U.S., it even feels like, hey, you got this group over here and that group over here, and now civil war, this and that, and we have to try to avoid all that stuff. We try to avoid all that stuff, and the only way to do that is to get together and have a conversation and try to understand each other, and don't try to make somebody believe the way what you believe. Just try to understand where they're coming from, and that have them understand where you're coming from, and then you guys can meet in the middle, and bam, that works much better than dividing and confusion, which is the enemy's tactics. So and another thing that I've been seeing is there is this is just advice. I'm gonna throw it out there. Hey, you do not have to take what I say, and hey, if it comes in one ear goes out the other, it's on you. But this is just advice. What I've been seeing an uprising in gangs and the streets. The streets are uprising. It kind of in the 80s and 90s. Those were the wild years. But it kind of calmed down a little bit. But it's in the uprising right now. So my advice to parents, new parents at that, is you must keep your kids busy. You keep them busy. You put them in sports. You put them in clubs. Put them somewhere, because when they reach the age between, like, I figure by between 11 and 18, they don't really know who they are. They're trying to find out who they are, and they're very easily manipulated. So, but if you keep them busy, the streets won't get to them. But if they have too much time on their hands, the streets see that. They see that, and they'll come and they'll approach and they'll offer them the world. But really, what they're offering them is a downfall. They oh yeah, come do this. We'll be friends. I give you money, you make money. But all of a sudden is when I gotta do something illegal. But you know what? You go do that. I'm just gonna sit back and watch you do it. And the more you do stuff for me, the more respect you'll get from all of us. And all of a sudden you're the downfall guy. What I'm saying? You're the guy that thinking that they're your friends and thinking that you're doing something positive, but understand this: how is it positive? Say you're fighting for territory. Why is that? That territory is not you guys. The government can come and just say, hey, raise taxes, and guess what? Bye. You guys are fighting for no reason. You're wasting your time. you're wasting your time and your resources, and so just I just advice, keep your kids busy because the streets are out there and they're searching and they're looking for easy targets. They're looking for easy targets. And like I said, I've been seeing an uprise, like in the school system. Oh my gosh, it's just like, people that you would never think, that are involved in these type of activities, but they have too much free time in their hand, and there you go. Now they're in the mixed, and again, it's just like, what, you got to take care of your family, you have to look out for your kids, because if you don't, hey, you're the one that cares about them. You are their first teacher. You are who they're going to look for, for advice and for, for leadership, or to be led by, But like I said, the best thing you can do is keep them busy. These streets are going to come after your kids, and these streets don't play. These streets don't play. It's crazy out there that this world is it's becoming crazy. It's like it's not what it was meant to be. It's like the enemy has come in and confused everything, and it's like we're living in a kind of a world that's kind of upside down. People that are doing things that aren't right, they're like, oh, they're acceptable. They're acceptable. Why? Because the enemy, he's made it where it's okay. So I'll give you an example. So you say you do something, say let's say you hurt somebody, whatever. Say you hurt somebody in whatever way you want to think of it, and it's bad. Yeah, you broke the law, and it's bad. But see, you can always get worse. So say you hurt an adult, whatever. You're both adults. You guys got into it. There's gonna be consequences, repercussions. Not right. But then say you go and hurt children. Now, hurting that adult isn't so bad anymore. I'd rather him hurt an adult than he hurt these children. You see how the enemy works? He makes bad to worse, and then worse to worse. And so what we do, we accept worse and we accept bad, because it's always going towards the direction of bad. So we have to see these things and understand that and open our eyes to these tactics, because good. How can something get better than good? If it's already good, it's good. It's not. It's perfect. But something can always get worse, and we're falling into that game that we're being fed. These agendas that we're being fed. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I don't tell nobody what to believe. Believe what you want to believe, but understand is you have to keep your eyes open and do your due diligence, your homework, to see what's happening. I mean, like I said, bad becomes worse. And we're just accepting it. Oh, it's not that bad. Hey, because he could have done this, he could have done that. Like I keep saying, we become a society of excuses here. So in the Western civilization, see, the only people that are really changing is the Western civilization. Would be Europe and U.S. and the people that follow the U.S. and Europe. We got most of the world. They're still the same. Most of the world, they're not changing like we're changing. And we say, it's all for moving forward, but we're actually moving backwards. And they're staying in staying in the same place. But look at us, the U.S. Like, hey, we were the top country in the world for a long time, for many years. People used to look up to us, But I don't know what happened to us that now we just accept anything. We don't want to offend nobody. We don't, and thinking that way has gotten us to where we're at. And if you guys don't see, the fact of the matter is that, man, this isn't it. This is not it. This is not it. We were meant to gather with people, since the beginning of civilization. We were never meant to to divide or to separate from each other. We're always supposed to help each other move forward, but now it's like, oh, this, these tribes are getting in the way of these tribes. Women are getting in the way of men. Men are getting in the way of women. Saying the different beliefs are getting different. There's like division everywhere, and nobody's saying nothing about it. Everybody's just like, okay, why? Because they're afraid to get canceled, and that, hey, that's not the way it was supposed to be. It's not the way it's supposed to be, and we must wake up, not be woke. Like, we must wake up and see what is going on. We need to see, with our eyes, and open in our, and just, what, hey, this is, I mean, just in your own families, just start there. Start with your own families. And was that what you guys were taught when you were kids? No, 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 no. And your grandparents, was that what? No, everything has changed from back then. All because, oh, we want to move forward. Well, we've moved so much forward, that actually we're reciprocal. We're going the opposite way and don't even see it. Because why? Because our eyes are shut and we don't want to see it, and we just, everybody's so selfish, thinking about themselves and not nobody else, and and stepping over people, and instead of helping somebody, saying they're stepping over them, and it's like, it just, it hardens your heart. It hardens your heart. You know, like, people have no feelings anymore. It's like feelings have gone and disappeared from society. This isn't what it was supposed to be. Like I said, just the way we think. It's ridiculous. It's like, so I heard this story. I was talking to this young man, and then he was telling me that, that he was he was hurt. He was hurt. So I'll tell you guys a story. So what happened was, and I'm not saying that we're all like, we're free from all this, because when we were young, we probably did similar things, but we need, saying we need to see these things. It's like, you gotta understand. Say, let's start with marriage. Marriage. In the beginning of time, people would stay together forever, basically. I mean, people. I mean, it wasn't until to like the 50s that when divorces started shooting up, and there's different ideas of why it's happening, but whatever, that's not the point right now. The point is, you gotta understand, since the beginning of time, people got married and stayed married. Families will stick together, and now it's like, it's the divorce rate is ridiculous. I mean, let's start from the beginning. Adam and Eve. Adam lived 900 years. Imagine how long he stayed with Eve. Can you imagine being with your girl 500 years? Woo! I don't know. That's a tough one. But see, back in the day, that was the norm, what I'm saying? And obviously, after the flood, saying, the Lord switched it up on us, and he said, hey, the longest someone's going to live is 120. So, but still, people were still stay together 50, 60 years. They get married. There was no, divorce wasn't even an option. It wasn't even an option. And now divorce is ridiculously crazy. And as time goes on, it's like, even just dating somebody, like, what, you don't agree with a small thing, and you guys end up just separating. But in a relationship, it was always meant to work together to get to where we need to get. But now it's like, if you don't follow me, man, I'm gonna find somebody else that will do what I say, and and if she doesn't, then I'm gonna find somebody else. And you're sitting there jumping, boom, 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 and there's just like no. And nowadays, I mean, marriage doesn't work anymore. Men are staying away from that stuff because, hey, it's crazy. One of the biggest things I've been hearing is that, that for a man, why would a man, sit there and make a commitment and do everything. I'm not saying this is every scenario, but this is just a scenario. This is and this scenario sticks with men a lot. It sticks with men. I'm a guy, so I can only speak mostly for men. And I'm pretty sure there's different scenarios for women too. But the thing is, we have to understand it and look at these things. For example, there's this guy who was telling me, why should I get married? What if I get married and I do everything right? I have kids. I have kids with my wife. You know, I'm trying to do right, and then she goes off and does her thing off to the side, and now she wants to come divorce me, and then the men still got to pay alimony, and they still got to pay child support, and they got to give half of everything up. So that's like one of the big things that men they're like, oh man, why get married? Why get married? So for example, this young man, he's a young man. I don't even think he has a job. He 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 asked his young lady out. They were dating. He asked his young lady out to an event. Just say like it's just let's just say it was like a Christmas dance or Halloween dance or whatever. So he bought the tickets. He bought her corsage. He was trying to do good. And so they went to the dance. Everything was fine, dandy. Everything was cool. They're having a good time. All of a sudden, a certain song came on, and he went to approach his date and said, "Hey, let's do this little dance real quick." And right then and there, she's like, "You know what? I'm not feeling this right now. I'm not feeling you right now. Let's just I'm done with you. See you later," and walked away. You know. So I understand they're young. I understand there's nothing keeping them together. But like I don't know, like if you didn't like want to be at this place with this person, and then why say yes and then do what you do? Just avoid the whole thing. Say no, thank you. I appreciate you. Hey, that would have been much easier to deal with. Now we have this young man who's like, oh man, girls are like this, women are like that. And that's not true. Not all women are like that. But in today's society, it's happening more things like this, which, I'm pretty sure the same thing happens to women. I'm not saying that the men are innocent, because we are not innocent. We are the problem ourselves. But my thing is, we must have to open our heart and just, saying, just understand, what people have, they have feelings. And whatever you do to that person, that can stick with them for the rest of their lives. It could be like an emotional uh, distraught. They could be emotionally distraught, and now whoever they next got to deal with that stuff. And it's like it all could have been avoided if you would just saying, put your heart out there and be like, you know what, hey, let me not try to destroy people left and right. What I'm talking about. So that was the story of this young man, and that's the way it is. Back in the day, they would get married, stay together 50, 60 years. Now divorce rate's high, and now it's like, well, if you don't agree with me, I'll leave you, and I'm gonna keep looking till I find one that will agree with you. But fact of the matter is, you're two different people. You're never gonna find someone that's gonna be wholeheartedly agrees with you, because they have their own ideas and their own way of thinking. So what you're gonna do is, so everybody's gonna go through life just switching partners. It was never supposed to be like that. Your marriage was never supposed to be easy. It was supposed to be easy. Hey, hey, love disappears. I'm not saying disappears, but it just, you cannot marry for love. You have to understand, something that this person that you chose, he's not always gonna agree with everything you say or you do, and you're not always gonna agree with them. But let's talk about things. I'm saying, if you need to get counseling, go get counseling. Go do what you gotta do to stay together. And if obviously if it's toxic and it's not working out, then fine. But at least you tried, what I'm saying? And like your children saw, saying that you're trying, and it wasn't just like, switch. Again, I am not innocent of this. I'm not innocent of this, you know. But it's now that I've grown up a little bit, I kind of like see things a little different, and like I said, this advice you don't have to take it. You could hear it come in one ear out the other. It is what it is. You gotta understand. One of the biggest lies that we were told, that we've gone through, and just hear me out. Just hear me out. Okay, so making the women, making the women go to work for 8 hours. Okay? They go to work for 8 hours. They hand off their children to daycare, to people that you don't really know. You don't know you don't know where they come from. You don't know the beliefs. You don't know what they're being taught at daycare, what they're being told at daycare, what's happening at daycare. You don't know that, but you've been told if you can go to work and drop your kids off at daycare, that's considered freedom. But having the option of staying home, raising your kids, a family that loves you, that has become slavery. Let's think about that. Slavery, if you stay home and raise your children and love your family and do what you gotta do to stay united and stay together. And ultimately, you know what? Everybody's are puppets. Everybody's a puppet. You know what I'm talking about? Because these ideals come from principalities, in the air. Principalities, these are the elites who are being told by principalities in the air, saying by spirits. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't understand, don't believe in spiritual warfare, but it's going on constantly around us all the time. And these decisions are being made, above our pay grade. They're being made above us. So what happens is now we think, oh, we're free. No, you know who's winning? Who's winning is say the government, because now they're getting taxes from you and from your wife. So you're actually paying for all this to happen to you unwillingly, unknowingly, doing it faithfully. It's something that is just something to think about. We must open our eyes. We must unite. We must gather. And what I'm saying, and when I say in love, doesn't mean it's all love, love, love. It just means understand that not everybody's the same, and accept each other. Even if you have differences, it's okay. It's okay. It's good to have differences, because you get different aspects of different things. So we have to get back to where we came from, and kind of because what's going on right now, this is not it. This is not it. And if you think about it, it's only gonna get worse. I mean, look how bad it's gotten in the last, say, this 25 years. It's getting bad. So and if you take any advice from me, hey, you know what? Hey, just it's okay to agree to disagree. It's okay not to follow what everybody is following. It's okay to have your own thoughts. It's okay to think a certain way. It's okay for another person to think a certain way. Understand this. When you guys come together, you talk about what you need to talk about, you meet in the middle, and you're going to get so much more out of life than division, separating. Now you're lonely, I'm lonely, everybody's taking medication for depression and anxiety. And why? Because what we really want is to be together and for everything to be okay. So from the Oquendo perspective, this will be the end of today's episode. I just want to say, God bless everybody. God bless you guys. Stay out there. Stay safe, stay smooth. Peace. I'm out. Bless you, my brothers.